Welcome to the OA Dynasty Forum.
Here at OA Dynasty Forum, we talk about the process that is involved on every journey to success, and we're there to lay it all bare.
Expect to be informed, transformed, and blessed as you come on this journey with us. Enjoy the journey.
Hi everyone! Welcome back to our channel. My name is Tony.
And my name is Tolu.
And together we are OA Dynasty.
Alright, so so to our new subscribers, thank you so much, because we know you're going to subscribe today. And we would like to say a big thank you to our returning subscribers. Thank you for always coming back.
Thank you.
Alright, so today we are going to be, of course, like as you might have seen, we are going to be talking about how we bought our first home in Canada, like the process behind our first home in Canada. Yeah,
that's what we're going to be talking about today. And to kickstart that, we along the line we'll be asking questions and we'll be answering, the questions. And the first question we're going to ask is that when people say, I just bought my first home in Canada, what exactly does it mean, or what are they trying to say?
Yes, I think it's important to get that perspective out there, because I know some people who are actually not used to Canada or used to the Western world might not actually know what it means when someone says I just bought my home. So well, for majority of people, what it means is that, well, I just put a down payment towards the purchase of my home. So if, for example, the home is 500,000, and I put, well, I'm able to raise probably 10% of 500,000, so I'm able to raise like $50,000 towards the home, and of course I pay that amount to the bank, and so the bank gives me that 500,000, the value of that home, and so I'm able to pay the the seller. Right, and then I'm able to kind of mortgage that amount over a number of years, which usually, like, they call it amortization period, and it could be, I think most common is about 25
years.
25 years, around that. So that I'm going to pay over that number of years, and of course with interest. So that's what it means majorly. So of course, once you do the down payment, the home is yours. You still get to pay mortgage every month, like at least for majority of homeowners in Canada. So
majority, when they say, okay, I've just bought my own house in Canada, they've just made a down payment. However, some people that are born with diamond spoon in their mouth.
Some people pay cash down.
These people pay cash down. They just buy it off, just like all this. It's not very common.
It's not very common. It's not very common. It's not very common.
And even those who are making down payment, you can speed it up along the way. You can make more payment, and instead of paying it for 25 years, you can pay yours for 10 years, you can pay yours for 5 years, you can pay it off in 3 years, depending on how you want to do it. But majority, once they come out and tell you, I just bought my first house in Canada, what they are trying to tell you is that I've just made down payments. So,
what are the benefits?
What are the benefits of buying your own house in Canada, to say?
Benefits of owning your own home.
Owning your own home in Canada. So, any interesting benefit?
Yes, I think, of course, a place to call your home, right?
This
is my home. Yes, I'm no more renting. I'm now like the landlord of myself, right?
It's actually a beautiful thing to say. I'm going to my house,
Yes. And of course, you can make any improvement over the years, whatever you want
to suit you,
to suit your need exactly. So that's, and of course for you, because it's a situation that at least I've heard. I've not experienced it, but I've heard of situations of people where they say the other tenants are complaining of their kids running up and down. But if it's your own home, like nobody's going to be complaining that your kids are making noise and all that.
So another benefit of having your own house in Canada is that it helps you to build equity. It's more or less like an investment for you. The money you are paying into that mortgage system over years accumulates, and it's under the umbrella of what we call equity. So it's more or less an investment for you over years.
Exactly. So of course, once you pay off your mortgage, the home then belongs to you, and you stop paying mortgage. So So whatever amount you're not getting, you can use it to do something else, or you can even decide to sell the home and buy and buy something else, right? Because it's expected that the property would have accumulated value.
The value appreciate over years.
I think that's the word, appreciate.
It appreciate over years.
Yes.
And for example, now if you are maybe you have kids that left home and it's just you and your spouse and you want to downsize, you can sell the house and get the money, use part of the money to buy a smaller house.
Exactly.
And the difference goes to your pocket.
Exactly. You know? So that's another benefit. Yes. Yeah, and also in some cases, some people buy 2 apartment homes where they can use one of the units to rent. So that would be giving them some rental income. So that's also another benefit why you might want to own your own home in Canada.
Yeah, that's true. You can also make some moolah. You can make some cash from the rental income as well.
Yes. What was our own experience? And I think, of course, that's what makes this unique. What was our experience and what helped us during the process?
So this is an interesting part that you want to listen to.
Exactly, and particularly because we got our home in the first 2 years of
being in Canada.
Of being in Canada as new immigrants. Right. So I think the very first thing is that we had been saving, and if you've watched our previous episode, we talked about life as new immigrants. So we had been saving. We've been living on one person's income. So we've been saving. So we had that substantial amount of money that we could use towards a down payment, right? So that's one of the things that helped us.
The first thing was that there was a goal.
Exactly.
We had a goal, and to achieve that goal, we made a sacrifice.
Yes.
We made a sacrifice. We didn't use the latest car. We had to sacrifice some things so that we can save some money, big enough to make a down payment.
Exactly. And I think thank you very much for saying that. I think it's very, very important because at the time we bought that, we could afford to at least buy a better car than what we were using at that time. But we had the goal of owning our own home. Like if you ask me, how did you come about the goal? Like I don't know. Maybe because of the people we surrounded ourselves with.
That's another thing.
Exactly, or because we're forward thinking and all that, we're not materialistic. So maybe that's one of the reasons. But I just knew we had a goal. We are not here to play and all that. So when others, our peers were getting the latest, of course in Canada you don't have to have $50,000 before you get a brand new car. They don't even make down payment for.
In some cases you make down payment, in some cases you don't.
Exactly. Yes. So it's important that we make mention of that because we could, at least with the money we had saved up, we could do something else with it. We could live. We
throw the party every week.
But of course we made a sacrifice because we had a goal. We wanted to achieve something. So we were using a car that was very, very modest.
That's the right word to use.
That's the right word to use, right? Exactly. And so that we could, achieve that. So we had that. And I think one other thing that we should say, and of course that means that we're living way below our means. So at least we could afford. And I think it's also important to mention here that it wasn't like we're already doing our dream job at that time.
So at that time, it wasn't like we were already doing our
dream job.
I was still a student.
Exactly, and I was still doing my.
I was still a student.
I was still doing my survival job, right?
So survival job, and I had a side gig as well.
That side gig. Very important.
Side gig.
As a student, so
schooling and gigging on the side.
And I think one other thing which is very important that I think we should mention is that in our church, that year had been declared the Isaac year. And of course, the reference point was that Isaac prospered and continued to prosper until he became prosperous. So we, we held on to that, to that word. And that year was indeed an Isaac year for us. So it was, we had the prophetic, to back it up, which is very, very important. That we are Bible believing Christians and we do not joke with that. So we had that to back it up. And of course, we had to work. We had to make sacrifices, and that's how we were able to make to afford the down payment. And of course, when it was time.
In addition to that, sorry to cut in, there was unity of purpose. We both had an agreement to go that route. because it's easier for somebody to say, okay, let's go this way, and the other person is thinking otherwise. So if there's no unity or there's no agreement, it may be very challenging. But in this case, we both had the same goal to achieve. So there was synergy between myself and my
inside joke. Okay, right. So I think that's very, very key, and thank you for mentioning that, because most times people couple actually want to achieve something great, but there's it's still my money is my money, and that kind of a thing.
No synergy.
No synergy. You might not really go far.
Yeah.
So okay.
And we prayed about it. Like, we keyed into the prophecy for that year, and we prayed about it, and we worked towards it.
Exactly.
We didn't fold our hands. I mean, I was schooling. I had perfect excuse not to do something else, but there's a proverb in my where I came from. There's a proverb that originally that if you want to eat honey that is inside the rock, you have to work with your axe. So you have to sharpen your axe and work hard. So we worked hard, and the grace of God carried us through. Because to be honest, I can just come here and say I was schooling, doing PhD, and I had a side gig. That is, PhD alone is big enough to make anybody break down. Not to talk of having a side gig to it. So I would have to say it took the grace of God to survive that. So it's not just to throw out there and just say, okay, I was able to do this and to do that. So it's the grace of God.
And when it was time, we spoke to our pastor, and I think our pastor directed us to a realtor who gave us information about how to start the process. So we of course we went to the bank, and the bank gave us they told us to bring out our information, where we're working. They wanted to know if we had permanent jobs, our pay stub, our tax receipt returns for the previous year. They just wanted to know, and then of course the bank approved us of a particular amount of money that we could use, and we then decided that okay, we have this particular amount that we can use, but we're not going to use everything. So that's also wisdom. You don't want to go to the upper limit of what the bank approves of you, so that you are not going to start to struggle to pay your mortgage. Right? So we made that decision. In fact, we're going to even go lower, like real low, but then the houses we were seeing within that range was not quite what we wanted. So we had to up a bit up, but we still made sure that there was still enough room for us to
we sought for guidance, just people who have done it before. We spoke to them just to know the process, and just to ask for information that would help us to make the best of decision. So we're able to make an informed decision. Getting to know what are the pros and cons of going this way or going that way. And like she said, we didn't go to the upper limit of what we are for, because we didn't want to put stress on our income, because by the time you are paying mortgage and you don't have anything left, and it's just, as you are getting paid, you are paying out. It's actually not the best way to live, So we didn't want to put stress on our income. We still want to create some allowance for us to even continue to save some things as we move on. So that was very important. We sought for guidance.
So the thing is, so after we got our pre-approval, of course we took our pre-approval letter. The realtor said, well, it's not like you needed our pre-approval letter, but I just wanted to be sure that it's not like we will now see a house that we really wanted and then the funds are not there.
That's not there,
So the bank, I think, pre-approved us and then gave us a particular interest rate that was locked for, I think, about 120 days. So we could find a house within that number of days, and we're able to get a house. And the way it works is that if you are using a realtor as the buyer, you do not pay the realtor. It's the seller that pays the realtor, right? So you can shop around with realtors. But we got a very good realtor who really helped us to ease, the process. And because he's also a Christian, he had values and he was really able to help us through. I think at the initial stage, he sent us a couple of houses, and we're like, no. So, but some of the houses that we said, okay, well, we liked, he drove us down to the place to see how the house looked and all that. And it was actually a long, like, it was not a fast process like that. It took us, sometimes the house would be like, there'll be one, thing, and sometimes, and the very good houses, before you know it, there's an offer here, right?
Whatever is good.
You're
not the only one appreciating it.
Exactly. That's important. So, but the interesting thing is, when we're going to get this particular house that we're talking about, it was just we had appointment for
to go to somewhere else,
to go to some other places, and it just sent us that this house was just listed. Right, and we're like, okay, why not? Let's go and check it. And there was a particular holiday, so around that time, and that's how we drove to the house. And meanwhile, the realtor had told us before that when you see the house that you're going to buy, you will know. And so immediately we got to the house. Oh my! Like, I was just
everything was just.
I was just like, this is what I want, and. It was just, and it was so funny because we're still going to go to other houses. I just told my hubby, see, I've gotten what I want. I'm not going to check.
This is promised land.
I'm not going to check other places and all that. But the perk on top of all this is that God actually had, God was working things out. Because to be honest with you, I wouldn't say I actually had so much knowledge about what the things we should check when looking for a home. For example, the fact that the house was on a cul-de-sac wasn't something that I thought about before. But eventually when we got to the interview, we were like, oh, you're even on a cul-de-sac. I'm like, we didn't even know that. But so that's to say that if you're watching this video and you're looking to get your own home, it's also good for you to do the research. If you're going to be raising your family, you want to look for if an environment is safe. But I think even though we didn't do it, I think our realtor put all those things in consideration when it was for us. Exactly, a family friendly environment. He also wanted he told us about a place whereby if we decide to sell the house, it will be easy to sell the house. If you wanted to move to another place,
an area where your house can appreciate
exactly
faster.
Yes. So that's also a place to put in. And of course, when you're also buying, it's also good to look at the environment. You see a crime. It was a crime rate in that particular environment. Because I realized that when we moved, to the house, our insurance dropped. Our car insurance, our auto insurance dropped, right? Because the area is is relatively safe. So those are the things to actually look out for.
And of course we didn't even get to know about this
before.
We just discovered that once we moved in, they just reviewed our car insurance and it came down. She has spoken about all other things we considered or we did not consider,
and that God
made lines to vote for us in pleasant places. And another thing was that after we've seen the house, we loved it. So we looked at it, we inspected it the way we could as a person, just to make sure that everything is okay. But there are things in the house that you cannot just see. The inside the walls, the foundation, and some other things you can't see. The roof, you may not be able to see all those things, right? So what we did was to carry out an inspection on the house, full-scale inspection, so as to know is there anything that we have to pay attention to in the foundation of the house, the roof, the walls, the heating system, and all other things. So and the inspection actually picked a couple of things that we told the seller to fix. And they fixed it for us.
They fixed it.
The inspection actually helped us to see that, because there's no way I would have seen that. Of course, you have to pay for the inspection. But it can save you from future trouble.
Exactly.
It can save you from future trouble.
So of course we did that, and then of course we gave a closing date. Of course this is just a very abridged version. So we did the closing, and it was very, very surreal that eventually home owners, and for us
it was a beautiful moment.
It was a beautiful
along the line you have to pay a lawyer, because you have to seal the whole thing and make it legal.
Yeah, the legal fees. Yeah.
And you have to pay for that.
You have to pay for that, and of course registration of deeds and all those things.
You have to, just make sure that everything that is legal about the house is completed. Make sure that every whatever building or every addendum or every additional construction on the land is legal.
Oh yes, make sure that there was permit for everything that's
That's the one I was looking for. Make sure that there's permits for everything.
So for example, if you have a fence, if you have a shed, just to ensure that it was actually approved.
I'm sure that's a shock for somebody. I mean, in Canada, you can't just decide to fence your house
without an approval.
You have to be approved by the city before you can fence your own house.
Yes.
Even if you want to build a storage at the back, you got to be approved.
It's just the law is there and it works. Any advice for anyone, who wants to?
Yeah, maybe an immigrant just got to Canada and you're thinking of, buying a house.
Or do you even think is it possible?
Or you're thinking is it a possibility to buy within first 2 years?
In fact, even less. Like it's even possible for you to buy within less. But we did ours in 2 years, and I always say that it is possible. Eyes on the goal. We got back in Europe. It's very possible, and it is something that everyone should look forward to. Everyone should look forward to, because it also gives you, like for example, in our neighborhood, we are the only immigrant living here. It gives you a sense of belonging to
family in this neighborhood.
So it gives you a sense of belonging as well to the to the city as well, right? The
fundamental is that desire it.
Yes.
I mean, if you desire it, if you can, how do they say it? If you can believe it, you can achieve it. How do they say it?
If you can conceive
it. If you can conceive it, you can achieve it. Just desire it and work towards it. And another thing that I would like to say in line to that is that move with people that think like you, because there's a way you want to desire something and people you are going with, what's wrong with you? Forget about that thing, Joe. Let's go and drink. The money you want to use to buy house, they will help you to finish it. So move with the right people with the right mindset, people who would want to achieve something like that, who can encourage you to succeed. That's what I'm trying to say. So move with the right people.
And of course pray. Pray, because pray that God would guide you every step. Our experience, was seamless, because we know for a fact that God was behind it,
And for every good thing, there's a price to be paid. You have to pay the price. Saving money, especially in Western world, is not easy. I'm not sure if anybody has said something about that. And we're going to maybe come up with an episode on that, because there are things that are ready to take every dollar that you are making. There are bills that are already take that from you, so it will take a lot of discipline for you to even save $20. For you to even save that. So be ready to pay the price, and like you said, praying to God, and if there's a prophecy around that thing, you can key into it. But hard work is very important, and the grace of God. So we do not take glory in any of these things, because we know that God actually helped us. Starting from the realtor that helped us, He made it easy for us. There are some things we were not even thinking about that He considered on our behalf, and the fact that this guy is also a Christian and things like that. So, any other advice for whoever is? It is possible.
It's possible.
You can do it. If you can do it, you can do it. You can even do it better.
You can do it better and faster.
And faster. So it is possible. You can do it. And just get the right advice, move with the right people, make sure you ask enough questions. In this part of the world, nobody gets angry when you ask questions. They will answer you. Don't think, am I overstepping my bounds by asking? If the Bible said ask and you shall receive. So ask questions and get to know what you are getting into. Because people will come out and tell you, I want to buy more, I want to get a house, or you get a mortgage. It's the same thing as paying for rent in your previous. Well, in the long run, it may be the same thing, but there are other things, other hidden fees that you still have to pay, that you have to put into consideration.
Your property taxes.
So, count your costs.
Yeah. So we would like to pray for anyone watching watching us and desires to also own their own home. Like God is able to do it for you, and like my husband said, the Bible has told us that we should ask anything in the name of Jesus and that we shall receive. So if it's what you desire, it is God's will for you to prosper in the land that He has given you. Go for it. We
just like to pray for whoever is new to Canada or whoever is a new immigrant aspiring to do something like this in Canada. Our prayer for you is that lines be formed for you in pleasant places.
Amen.
As you step into this land, it will yield milk and honey for you. And as you aspire to do good things, everything will work together to make sure that you succeed in that positive thinking that you have.
All right, thank you so much for watching.
Yes, thank you so much.
Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so.
Yes.
And please share the word, with your network.
We wish you good luck as you take up that
bold step.
All
right then, until next time when we see you again in our next episode, we say bye.
Hi, my name is Anne.
Good. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.